Hi Derek, this is Arita Spagna with Opulence Renovations. I'm here at Jason Salula's property at 609 10th Court South. I'm going to give you a quick overview of the insurer's property. So this whole front slope that you see right now is what you have requested for me to replace. I'm not gonna argue with you on this here. Now, the back slope on the estimate, it doesn't have anything included. As you can tell, on the back slope, I have found some wind damage on a lot of the shingles. And we'll walk over to the total count. So I have marked wind 25. I'll get you a closer look. See right there. Right there. All of this right here. And you get the picture. Let's walk over to this adjacent slope. So you can tell right there. Right there. And I didn't mark some of them, as you can tell. I just marked the worst ones. But alrighty, now let's talk about my felt overlap dispute. By the way, I am recording with meta glasses. They only allow me to record up to 2 minutes at a time, so I may have to combine a few continuous clips and combine it all into one long clip. But as you can tell right off the bat, this is a non-vented rich. There's no rich vent. It's just a rich cap. Typically, the felt is going to be overlapped anywhere between 4 to 6 inches. So if this felt is overlapped by 6 inches, we're going to go over to the adjacent slope by 6 inches. So for us to properly remove and install the overslab for this front slope, we're going to have to get into the back slope. While doing so, we're going to compromise some of the shingles on the back, especially when we want to slide our felt underneath. Again, same thing. Again, same thing here. Non-vented ridge. Felts is gonna overlap until to this back slope over here. So we're gonna have to remove some of these shingles here so that we can get the felt coming from the front slope towards the back. We can get it underneath the shingle. Also, I would like to point out, since there is damage on the back slope and there's valleys connected to the ridge on the front slope, you have to start thinking about what's in the valleys. Is it metal? Is it ice and water? Well, you'll know that a lot of times whatever's on the valley is either going to overlap by 8 inches or 12 inches to the adjacent sides. So let's keep that in mind when you revise your estimate and you make some changes or add some supplements. Right there, same thing, another valley. So it's either going to overlap by 8 or 12 inches. Obviously, I do not want to mess with any of that right now because you haven't approved it. So we're going to leave it as is and let you decide on that. But let's come back to the felt overlap. So if you're going to overlap this felt over, as you can tell, now we've compromised some of that ridge cap right here. Compromise some of this ridge cap right here on this back slope because it's all connected coming towards the front slope here. So let's keep that in mind. Another thing, you missed the roof component, this pipe bit right here. When we replace the shingles, we'll have to replace that as well, so please include it into your revised estimate. Another thing I would like to point out is you paid for 91 linear feet of drippage to be installed, but you only pay for 57 linear feet of starter to be removed and replaced. That doesn't really make sense to me a lot. Drippage and starter is supposed to go on both the eaves and the rakes, so you either need to include more starter or you added too much drippage. Also, I would like to point out that the starter overlaps, so that's another thing. When our starter overlaps into the adjacent slope, we're gonna have to remove these ridge caps here, some of those shingles as well, so we can get our starter over. But alrighty, Derek, this concludes my own walkthrough and inspection of this roof. As you can tell, 25 damaged shingles on the back slope. Okay, so as you can tell, I've removed 2 of the ridge caps there, and it appears that there's a shingle coming from the back slope overlapping into the front slope here. I'll mark that for you. See, so this shingle right here is coming from the back slope into the front slope. There you go, get a better view. So when attempting to replace the entire front slope, we're also gonna have to remove this shingle all the way across the back slope, just so we can remove this shingle here. And so when doing that, we have to go across the entire back slope, and it just creates a domino effect. An entire domino effect where I can't do my job properly without damaging or creating other damages. So since you haven't paid for any shingles on the back slope, I'm gonna leave this alone for now and not touch this. Usually I would want to remove this shingle so I could show you what's going on here on the ridge, but the evidence is pretty evident here. I mean, you've got a shingle on the back slope overlapping to the front, so I think you can get the picture of how the felt is overlapped as well. So I'll remove a few shingles, some ridge cap shingles here. I'm not going to remove any more. I'm going to put this back in place.